Hello! What's going on, everybody? So Nations League Matchday 4 has just happened. I am uploading this a little bit late, I know. I actually already did a recording of this whole video. I'm doing it again because I already did this yesterday while I was feeling a bit under the weather. And then when I was editing the footage, I just looked at my face and I was like, damn, I look like shit. I can't upload this. So I'm doing it all over again. I probably won't be getting as many views either because it's a bit late, but I promised you guys that I would get this out there. So did match day 3 a few days ago, so if you missed that, I'll leave a link in the description. But without any further ado, let's move on to the match day 4 matches right now, starting off with Latvia versus Malta. This match finishes 1-0 with Steve Borg getting a 96-minute goal for Malta, giving them a 1-0 win. Huge result for Malta as they now top Latvia in this group. They're in second now, Latvia are in third, only a 2-point gap, so yeah, massive result for Malta. The other match in this group though, Faroe Islands versus Andorra. Olsen gets an early brace in the first half, giving Faroe Islands a 2-0 win. Looking at the stats, they were way more dominant, way more opportunities, 75% possession. They're in first by a mile now. They got 10 points to their name, while Malta only has 5 in second. Latvia in third with 3, and Andorra in last with 2. Now we move on to Azerbaijan versus Cyprus. This match finishes 0-0 with Cyprus not even getting a single shot on target the entire match. They still get 12 shots throughout the game though. Azerbaijan also failed to get anything in the back of the net, so yeah, underwhelming result from both sides. The other match in this group though, Montenegro versus Luxembourg. Ivanovic gets a goal in the 34th minute, but then Luxembourg respond well and get 2. Looks like some fight broke out at the end of the match because 3 players get a red card in the 95th minute. Looking at the stats, this was a super even game, so I'm honestly impressed with Luxembourg. I really didn't think they did so well. And this is obviously a bit of a disappointing result for Montenegro, because now Luxembourg topped this group with 9 points. Montenegro also have 9 points, but due to goal differentials, they're in second. Azerbaijan in third with 4 points, and Cyprus in last with 1 point. Next up, we got Ukraine versus Spain. Ukraine get a super impressive win against Spain. They win 1-0 with only 1 shot on target the entire match. 2 shots in total from Ukraine against Spain. And yeah, they somehow managed to win that. They also only had 28% possession. Spain had 72% possession, 8 shots on target, 21 shots in total. So it looks like Ukraine were just super clinical and knew what they were doing to hold off Spain. Massive win for them. I think this is the first time they've beaten Spain in history. Please correct me if I'm wrong though. But yeah, the Ukrainians definitely should be proud about this win. You'd think Germany would be able to top Spain now after that result, but no. They draw to Switzerland 3-3. Gavranovic for Switzerland gets 2 goals, and Freuler gets another. For Germany, Werner, Havertz, and Gnabry all get on the score sheet, and then Schär gets a red card in the last minute. For the group standings though, yeah, like I said, Germany were not able to top Spain. They sit at second with 6 points, while Spain sit at first with 7. After Ukraine's win though, now they have 6 points as well, so it looks like they're in the race for getting that first place spot in this group. It would be super interesting to see if Ukraine can get a first place spot with these 2 tough teams. Switzerland are at last with 2 points, but anything can happen. This point gap is not that massive. These last 2 match days are going to be super important for this group. It's all neck and neck here. I'm excited to see what happens. Next up, we got Liechtenstein versus San Marino. This match finishes 0-0, but this is an impressive win from San Marino because I'm pretty sure they've just been losing every single game, so they'll take a draw. With this group, there's only 3 teams, and Gibraltar have less matches played, yet they still sit in first with 6 points. Liechtenstein are in second with 4 points, and San Marino are in last with 1. Next up, we got Finland versus Ireland. Finland have been super impressive lately. They get a 1-0 win against these guys from a Jensen goal in the 66th minute. The other match in this group, Bulgaria versus Wales. Wales get a 1-0 win as well. Johnny Williams scoring in the 85th minute, securing Wales that first place spot now in this group. They've got 10 points while Finland have 9 in second. Ireland at third with 2 and Bulgaria at last with 1. So doesn't look good for Ireland or Bulgaria. They just literally have no chance to get second or first place now. It's all up to Finland and Wales. Who's going to get that first place spot? We'll see. Next up, we got Lithuania versus Albania. Again, Albania failed to do anything in this match. It ends 0-0. Although Albania were looking more dominant in the stats, yeah, they still failed to do anything. Pretty underwhelming from these guys. I thought they'd be able to boss this group. But looking at the other match, Belarus versus Kazakhstan. Belarus get a 2-0 win against these guys, which puts them at first in this group now. Before this match day, all of these teams had 4 points, so it was pretty interesting to see where all of them would finish now. And yeah, Belarus are the only ones that took advantage today. Lithuania are at second with 5 points. Albania are at third also with 5 points. And Kazakhstan are at last with 4. So everyone still has a shot doing well. There's not a point gap at all, really. Like, again, open in the air for any of these teams. None of them are out yet. We'll see what happens. Even Kazakhstan still have a shot. Next up, we've got Italy versus Netherlands. This match finishes 1-1. Pellegrini and Van de Beek both get goals in the first half. And this is actually a blow for both of these teams because Poland beats Bosnia 3-0. Lewandowski gets a brace. Linetti gets on the score sheet as well. And Bosnia gets a red card early on. They just absolutely screwed up this one. Very sad for Bosnia, honestly. But it's also interesting to see now because Poland are in first now. They're topping this group with Italy and Netherlands, which is super impressive. 7 points for them. Italy are at second with 6. Netherlands are at third with 5. And Bosnia are in last with 2 points. Can Poland pull through and finish first in this group? That would be an absolute masterclass from these guys. And it would only prove that Lewandowski is just an absolute monster because they didn't even have him earlier. I know for the first 2 match days he wasn't even in the squad. He was on holiday for his incredible season. So we'll see how far they can go. God, these last 2 match days are about to be super intense. Next up, we got Greece versus Kosovo. Despite Greece looking like the more dominant side, this match finishes 0-0 with Kosovo getting a red card in the last minute. Looks like Krashica's absence is definitely missed, but it's still impressive they're able to hold off against Greece. The other match in this group though, Slovenia versus Moldova. Slovenia get a very impressive 4-0 win against these guys. Vučkić with the hat-trick, even though 2 of his goals were penalties. Due to this massive result, Slovenia sit at first now with 10 points. Greece at second with 8. Kosovo at third with 2 points, and Moldova in last with 1. So this is one of those situations where Kosovo and Moldova are pretty screwed. It's up to Slovenia or Greece to top that first place spot. At this point, my money's on Slovenia, but yeah, anything can happen. Next up, Slovakia versus Israel. At halftime, Slovakia are winning 2-0. I thought they had this match in the bag, but Sahavi gets a hat-trick in the second half. Super impressive from this guy. He's been a monster. So they win 3-2. Such a blow for Slovakia. They haven't gotten a single win in this Nations League run yet, but at least they did beat Ireland in the Euro qualifiers. So it's not all bad for them. But the other match in this group, Scotland versus Czech Republic. Fraser gets a super early goal in the 6th minute. That's their only shot on target. Czech Republic were looking way more dominant. They had way more shots, way more possession as well, and they just failed to score at all. So Scotland get that win. Impressive stuff from them. They seem to be pretty clinical lately. Due to this impressive win, they sit at first with 10 points. Czech Republic in second with 6. Israel in third with 5. And Slovakia in last with 1. So the only team that's screwed in this group is Slovakia. I usually save Croatia for last, but I'm going to put them a little bit earlier this time. Croatia versus France was pretty disappointing. A 2-1 loss for Croatia in Zagreb. Griezmann gets a super early goal from a horrible clearance from Vida. His finish was nice, but that clearance was awful. Vlasic gets a beautiful finish, and then Mbappe receives a wonderful cross, giving him a pretty easy tap-in goal. He was pretty unmarked, so the defense was not pulling through at that bit. And honestly, I think the ref was a bit all over the place, not just against Croatia, against France as well. I feel like Croatia and France both deserved a penalty at one point in the match. Croatia did play well, so they shouldn't beat themselves up about it. But now they have no chance getting first or second, as Sweden lose to Portugal 3-0 even without Ronaldo. Yup, as most of you probably know, Ronaldo got coronavirus, so he had to sit out the squad, but I honestly didn't really have much doubt in Portugal because they still have a great squad and they get a wonderful win against Sweden. Due to these wins from Portugal and France, they sit at first and second with 10 points, Portugal being first. Croatia are at third with 3 points and Sweden are in last with 0 points. So Sweden and Croatia have literally no chance topping this group. It's all a battle between Portugal and France. Hopefully Croatia don't get in last at this point. Croatia had a horrible beginning. They started to improve, but these are top sides they're dealing with, so it is what it is. They just got to make sure they're not in last at this point and focus on the Euros for sure. Now moving on, we've got Estonia versus Armenia. This match finishes 1-1 with 2 super early goals. Even match all around, nothing too much to talk about there. The other match in this group, North Macedonia versus Georgia. This match finishes 1-1 as well, with North Macedonia getting a red card. Jeez, lots of red cards today, but North Macedonia do equalize in the very last minute from a last-minute penalty. This is a big deal for both North Macedonia and Georgia, as both of them sit at the top with 6 points. North Macedonia in first, Georgia in second, Armenia in third with 5 points, and Estonia in last with 2. So anything's up in the air for these teams. It's interesting because no one has gotten more than 1 win in this group. Now we move on to Turkey versus Serbia. Another match with the red card. What's up with this? But anyway, this match was super intense with Serbia having a decent lead at first. Milinkovic-Savic gets a goal in the first half. Mitrovic gets a penalty at the beginning of the second half. They had a 2-0 lead, solid, but Turkey find their ways to come back It was super intense. Stats looked very, very even, so match could have gone either way. It's a blow for both of these teams though, because neither of them have gotten a single win yet in this Nations League, and they both sit in the bottom by quite a bit. The other match in this group, Russia versus Hungary, also ends in a draw, 0-0 though. A little bit less exciting as there was only one shot on target the entire match. Russia and Hungary have been kind of killing it since the beginning though, so Russia set up first with 8 points, Hungary at second with 7, Turkey at third with 3, and Serbia in last with 2 points. I mean, anything can still happen, but Serbia and Turkey are definitely at a massive disadvantage at this point. But Serbia definitely need to focus on those Euro qualifiers against Scotland, so hopefully they get their shit sorted. They did pretty well against Norway, so I do believe in them, but we'll see what happens. Now we've got Romania versus Austria. Despite the stats looking pretty even, Austria managed to get a 1-0 win, and Norway also get a 1-0 win against Northern Ireland from an own goal. So now Austria and Norway both have 9 points. Austria in first, Norway in second, Romania in third with 4, and Northern Ireland in last with 1. Now we move on to Iceland versus Belgium. Iceland have 4 losses in this group now. This is a huge blow for them as they're a decent side, and they put off a good fight against Belgium. Lukaku does get a brace, one of his goals being a penalty, and all 3 of these goals in this match were all in the first half. Iceland still have a chance qualifying for the Euros, but their Nations League results have not been very good so far. The other match in this group, England versus Denmark. England get 2 red cards. Harry Maguire gets one early on in the match, which then involves Christian Eriksen to get a penalty against them. Reece James gets a red card at the very end of the match as well. Yes, this is considered an upset from England, but Denmark are a great side, so you can't really write them off. You can't say that this result shouldn't have happened, but this result does put Denmark above England only by goal differentials because they both have 7 points. Belgium are at first with 9, although they did lose to England the other day on match day 3, but now Denmark set at second with 7, England at third with 7, and Iceland in last with 0. So Iceland are screwed. No matter what, even if they get 2 wins, they're still going to be in last with 6 points. But for the top 3, anything is still open. Looks like Harry Maguire has been taking a toll on Manchester United and the England squad. I do feel a bit bad for him, to be honest, but he's going to get a lot of hate with that big price tag on him. And we still got 2 full match days ahead of us. But yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. Again, I apologize that I am uploading this a bit late, but it had to be done. We're not going to have the next 2 match days for some time, but I'll obviously still be uploading other stuff. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like this video if you did enjoy, and I'll see you all later. Laku noć.